Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope that you're doing very well today. Today we're going to start with sentence with one clause. Sentence with one clause. Some sentences in English have just one subject and one verb. Okay. The first skill is going to be about sentence with one subject and one verb. Some sentences they have more than one verb or more than one subject, and we have to know which subject, where is the subject and where is the verb in each clause or each sentence. Sometimes the sentence has two clauses, three clauses. Each clause must have a verb and a subject. For that, I'm saying that some sentences, they have more than one subject and more than one verb. But the clause, each clause must have a subject and a verb. Okay, today we're going to start with a sentence, the sentence with one subject and one verb. Okay, perhaps the sentence is missing either the subject or the verb, or both. Perhaps the sentence has an extra subject or a verb. So we have to be careful. We have to search for what is missing in a sentence. For example, if we look at this example, was bagged up for miles on the freeway. Where is the verb? The verb is was bagged up. Was bagged up. Okay, where is the subject? Here the subject is missing. Okay, then we have to look at these four multiple choices. We have to search between them. Which one of these choices plays the role of the subject? Let's see. The first one, A, yesterday. Yesterday. Yesterday is not a subject. It's not a dua. الفاعل. It is not الفاعل. It is not a dua. Yesterday هي ظرف زمان. البارحة. In the morning. It is also like ظرف زمان في وقت الصباح. It does not play the role of a subject. هي لا تلعب دور الفاعل. Then these two, they are not possible. A و B مش مستحيل انهم يصيروا لانهم they do not play the role of the subject. Let's see. Let's look at C and D. Traffic and cars. Here, traffic is a noun. Cars is a noun. So if I look at them, I will say that these two, they may be possible, but I have to see the verb here. The verb says that the subject should be a singular because the verb says was bagged, and was, I use it with singular verbs, singular nouns. So this verb is shows singularity. Okay, then which one of these two, C or D, shows singularity? Cars is a plural noun, but traffic is uncountable noun. هو اسم ماله اسم غير معدود، والأسماء الغير معدودة بعاملها معاملة الإفراد. Okay, الأسماء, this is uncountable noun, and I use singular verb after it. Then which of these is possible? The one that is right is the traffic. So the sentence is traffic was backed up for miles on the freeway. Let's look now at the second example. It says engineers. Okay, engineers for work on the new space program. Engineers, this is subject. This is subject, المهندسين. Where is the verb? I can't find the verb. Then here, the missing word is the verb. I then go to the choices and see which one of these is possible to make the sentence right. I first start with necessary. Is necessary the right choice? No. Is are needed is the correct answer? We'll see. Hopefully next month. Which one of these four choices is plays the role of a verb? أي واحد من هدول بيلعب بدور الفعل؟ بقول necessary ضروري. Hopefully يعني بشكل متمنيا ذلك. Next month اللي ظرف زمان. ولكن وين الفعل؟ أي واحدة من هدول الفعل اللي هي are needed. So أي واحدة صحيحة اللي هي are needed. So the sentence is going to be engineers are needed for work on the new space program. But let's see the third example here. It says the boy going to the movie with a friend. The boy, this is the subject, okay? And here there is something missing. Going, it is part of the verb, but it is not the verb, it is part. Then the subject is here. So something missing before the part of the verb is the part which completes the verb. Then can I say, so the boy here has a verb which is going. Okay, to be correct, some form of the verb be is needed to make the sentence complete here. Then some form of the verb be here is needed to make a sentence complete. Answer A and B are incorrect. Why? Because the sentence already has a subject. يعني هون فيها هي وهون فيه هي والجملة أصلا already فيها subject. فأنا مش بحاجة لها كمان subject. الجملة فيها فاعل واحد لأنها جملة تتكون من one clause. Then I don't need then the first choice and the second choice they are not correct. They are incorrect. ليش؟ لأنه فيهم subject وأصلا already موجود عندي ال subject. طيب okay then A and B are incorrect. A and B are incorrect because the sentence already has a subject which is the boy and does not need an extra subject. He does not need an extra subject. Okay, what is the correct answer? Okay, answer C also. Is it correct? It is incorrect. Why? Because relaxing is an extra verb part that is unnecessary because of going. I can't say relaxing and going. Okay? Which answer then is the right one? The right one is will be. This is the best answer. Okay? Will be together with going is a complete verb. I say the boy will be going to the movie with a friend. Okay, now then what is the rule for this skill? This skill's rule is a sentence in English must have at least one verb and one subject. Okay, now let's look at this exercise. This is this exercise indicates that the sentence should be either correct or incorrect. We have to write I when the sentence is wrong or incorrect, and C when it is correct or when it is right. Now we have to search for the subject and for the verb and see what is missing or what is extra. Okay, now I'll give you 5 minutes in order to look at these sentences and try to answer them together. Now, after we have finished this exercise, exercise 1. Now we're going to start with we're going to start with skill 2. Skill 2, the title of skill 2 says that be careful of objects of the prepositions. يعني انتبه من الاسم المجرور بحرف الجر. What are the prepositions that I'm talking about? I'm talking about these prepositions: in, at, of, to, by, behind, on. These are called the prepositions. هذول حرف الجر. What comes after these prepositions, it is called object of preposition. ما يأتي وراء هذه الحرف الجر يسمى الاسم المجرور بحرف الجر. Then, if the object, if there is a noun after this preposition, after one of these prepositions, it's called object of preposition, and it's not the subject. It is not the doer of the action. For example, if we say, after his exam, Tom will take a trip by boat. After here is a preposition حرف جر. His exam, it is object of the preposition. هو الاسم المجرور بحرف الجر after. Okay, then where is the verb? Where is the subject and the verb? Tom is the subject and will take is the verb. A trip is the object. Okay, and by boat, this is another preposition, and boat is another object of a preposition. Okay. Sometimes an object of preposition can cause confusion in structure questions or in TOEFL, on the TOEFL test, because it can be mistaken for the subject of a sentence. Sometimes you are mistaken by considering it or thinking that this noun is the subject of the sentence when it is not. For example, let's look at this example and see and answer it. With his friend found the movie theater. With is a preposition. His friend is the object of preposition. Found is a verb. This verb needs a subject. It needs a subject. Then here there should be a subject, because this is the verb. Is his friend is the subject? No, his friend is the object of the preposition that it precedes. Then here I need a subject. Which one of these four is the subject for the verb found? Has is a verb, so it is not correct to have. When, it is not the correct word, because it is not a question, or it is considered as a linking word or a WH question, used as a WH question in WH questions, and this is not a WH question. Later is not the correct word. Here I need a subject, a doer. He is the correct answer. Then in this example, you should look first for the subject and the verb. This is the verb, and this is here should be the subject. Okay, you should notice the verb found here, and should also notice that there is no subject here. Do not think that his friend here is the subject. Friend here is the object of a preposition, which is with. And one noun cannot be both subject and an object of the same time at the same time, because the subject is needed here in the sentence. Okay, then answer B is the correct answer. A, C, and D, they are incorrect. Okay, now let's move to the rule. What is the rule for this skill? The rule for this skill says that a preposition is followed by a noun. حرف الجر يلي هي اسم مجرور به. إما اسم, a noun, pronoun, gerund, or noun clause. Okay, that is called ما يلي حرف الجر. It is called object of preposition. الاسم المجرور بحرف الجر. If a word is an object of preposition, it is not the subject. عندما تكون الاسم هو اسم مجرور بحرف الجر يسبق حرف جر، فهي اسم مجرور وليست السبجكت وليست الفاعل not the doer. Okay, now let's go to exercise 2 and see if these sentences are correct or incorrect. Let me first read the first two and answer them. Then I will give you time to answer the rest questions. Number 1. Okay. The interviews by radio broadcaster were carried live by the station. Is this correct or incorrect sentence? This is a correct sentence. Let me explain how, why did I say that it is a correct sentence. Here, the interviews is the subject. Okay, the interviews is the subject here. Okay, where carried is the verb. What about by radio broadcaster? By is the preposition, and radio broadcaster, the object of a preposition, of a preposition. Okay, then this is a correct answer. It has a subject and a verb. Let's look at the second sentence. In the last possible moment, in is a preposition, حرف جر. The last possible moment اللي هي the object of preposition. Before take off. Before is a preposition برضو حرف جر تاني preposition. Take off اللي هي object of preposition. Took, this is the verb. Okay, the sentence should have a subject and a verb. Where is the subject here? I have a verb without a subject. Then here there is a missing subject. There's a missing subject. I have to say, maybe in the last possible moment, before takeoff, he took his seat in the airplane. Then this is incorrect. Now, I'll give you 5 minutes and we will answer these 10 questions together. These 10 questions together. Okay, after 5 minutes. Okay, let's start doing them after 5 minutes. Okay, dear students, after we have finished answering exercise 2, now we're going to start with the skill number 3, which talks about appositives. Okay, appositives can cause confusion in the structure section of TOEFL test. Okay, because an appositive can be mistaken for the subject of a sentence. An appositive is a noun that comes before or after another noun and has the same meaning. Look at this example. Here, where is the appositive? The appositive is here. It is preceded by a comma and followed by a comma. This is the appositive. This appositive, the appositive, this is a noun that can comma before or after. Here it comes after the subject. Here it comes after the subject and it gives more information about the subject. When I say Sally, comma, the best student in the class, comma, got an A on the exam. Then Sally is the subject, got, it is the verb. And what about the best student in the class? This is called appositive. It gives me more, it gives me information about the subject, but it is not the subject. We have to notice that it is preceded and followed by comma. Okay, then an appositive phrase, because of the noun here, student, and because of the commas here, okay, we notice that Sally is the subject, and because of mainly because of the commas here, it is not considered as the subject, although student and Sally they refer to the same person. Okay, now if we look at this sentence, George is attending the lecture. Okay, George is preceded by a comma and it is followed by a comma. Then this is not the subject. This is an appositive. It gives me all more information about the subject. Then here, there is something missing. Is it the verb or the subject? Let's search for the verb. Is attending is the verb. Then the verb needs a subject. Then here I need um, a subject for the verb is attending. And George is an appositive. Okay, now let's look at these multiple choices. Okay, and see which one fits to be here in the blanks. Can I say right now? No. Happily, an adverb? No. Because of the time? No. I need here a subject, a noun. My friend. Which one is that, right? My friend. Then, in this example, you should recognize from the commas, that George is not the subject of the sentence. George is an appositive, because this sentence still needs a subject. The best answer is D, my friend. And A, B, C are incorrect because they are not subjects. Let's look at this example. It says, Sarah rarely misses her basketball shots. In this example, we can see that Sarah here is the subject of this sentence. Misses is the verb. Let me write it here. Okay. Then Sarah is the subject and Mrs. is the verb. Okay. Because there is no comma separating them, because there is no comma separating the subject and the verb. So Sarah is the subject and Mrs. is the verb. In the space here, you should put the appositive or an appositive for Sarah. More information about Sarah. And Sarah is an excellent basketball player, which is A here. Okay, this is the best answer. B, C are not correct because they each contain a verb which is. B, C, they are incorrect because they contain verbs, and the appositive does not have a verb. And answer D contains a noun, play. Okay, that could possibly be an appositive, but play is not the same as Sarah, so this answer is not correct too. Okay, now let's move to exercise or see the first the rule. What is the rule for the appositives? Here, let's look at the appositive rule. What do you mean by appositive? Appositive is a noun that comes before or after another noun and is generally set off from the noun with commas, فواصل تفصل بيناتهم. If a word is an appositive, it is not the subject. إذا كانت هاي الكلمة هي الappositive فهي ليست الفاعل. The following appositive structure are both possible. ممكن إذا هدول الفورمين ممكن يجي الappositive إما بالوسط وإما في البداية. إذا أجت في الوسط, if it comes in the middle, it is preceded by a comma and followed by a comma. زي ما هو هون موضح. Tom, comma, a really good mechanic, comma, is fixing the car. Here, the appositive comes in the middle. But here, in the second example, a really good mechanic, comma, Tom is fixing the car. Tom is subject, is fixing the verb. What about a really good mechanic? This is the appositive and it is followed by a comma. Let's now look at this exercise and see if these sentences are correct or incorrect. Now, let me do the first two and give you 5 minutes to do the others. The first one, the son of the previous owner, comma, the new owner is undertaking some fairly bold changes in the management policy. Here, the new owner, this is the subject, is undertaking is the verb, then subject and the verb, and it is preceded by the son of the previous owner, comma. Then this is an appositive and it is not the subject of the verb. Okay, then this is correct. What about number 2? Last semester, comma, a friend, comma, graduated from the university. Last semester. Okay, here a friend. Here a friend, it is a positive, but there should be a subject. Where is the subject? Who graduated from this university? There should be here a subject. Here the subject is missing. Maybe I can say last semester, Ali, a friend, graduated from the university. Okay, then here I need a subject and the subject is missing because last semester here الفصل الماضي, this is ظرف, okay, and it is not the verb, it is not the subject, and here a friend, it is a positive and it is not the subject. Then here a subject is missing. Let's see number 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. Complete them together. I will give you 5 minutes to think about them and then answer them together. Okay. Now let's see, after we finish the exercise number 3, let's see skill number 4. The title of this skill is called Be Careful of Present Participle. What do you mean by present participle? Present participle is the ing form of the verb. Okay, and in the structure section of the TOEFL test, present participle can cause confusion because it can be either a part of the verb or an adjective. If it is part of the verb when it is accompanied or it is preceded by some form of the verb to be, like in this sentence. The man is talking to his friend. Then here, the verb is preceded by a verb to be. Then here it is a verb. In this sentence, talking is part of the verb because it is accompanied by is. Okay, now if we look at this sentence, okay, the man talking to his friend has a beard. Here, in this sentence, talking is part of the verb. Here the present participle is an adjective here. It is an adjective. And where is the verb? The verb is has. Here, the present participle is an adjective when it is not accompanied by some form of the verb to be. Here, it is not accompanied by verb to be. The man talking to his friend, الرجل المتحدث إلى صديقه has a beard, لديه لحية. Then the man here is the subject, has is the verb. Talking here, it is an adjective and it is not accompanied by any form of verb to be. Now, in this sentence, talking, I will repeat, in this sentence, talking is an adjective and not part of the verb because it is not accompanied by any form of verb to be. The verb here in this sentence is has. Okay, let's look at this following example. The child playing in the yard is my son. In this example, if we look at only the first words of the sentence, it appears that the child here, the child is the subject. It appears that, okay? And playing is part of the verb. If you think that playing is part of the verb, you might choose B, okay? Or answer D, okay? But however, these two answers are incorrect because playing here
is not part of the verb. You should recognize that playing here is a participle adjective rather than a verb, because there is another verb in the sentence which is as. Here there is another verb which is as. In the sentence there is a complete subject. This is a complete subject, the child, and a complete verb which is is. The child is. Okay? So this sentence does not need another subject or verb. So the best answer is A. I will repeat again. The child is the subject, is the verb. Playing here, it is an adjective. So here it is a complete sentence. Here I need something that does not affect the sentence grammatically. Then B and was, B and C are incorrect because they are verbs, and here I have a verb. He plays the role of a subject, and here I have a subject. So I don't need any of these B, C, D, because they play is and was play the role of verb, and he plays the role of a subject, and the subject is available and the verb is available. So I need something that does not affect the sentence grammatically. So the best answer is A. Now let's look at the rule for the present participle. The present participle, a present participle is the ing form of the verb. The present participle can be part of the verb or an adjective. It is part of the verb when it is accompanied by some form of the verb to be. Be, is, was, were, and are. It is an adjective when it is not accompanied by some form of the verb be. For example, the boy is standing in the corner. Is standing here, it is a verb, because this ing form of the verb, it is accompanied with verb to be. But here, the boy standing in the corner was naughty. The boy is the subject and was is the verb. What about standing? Standing here is an adjective, and it is not accompanied by verb to be. So it is an adjective. Okay, now let's look at this exercise and answer the following question. Let's do it together. I will not record this. I will pause now. Okay, dear students, now we're going to proceed with skill number 5. Skill number 5 talks about past participle. Past participle means past participle can cause also confusion in the structure section of the TOEFL test, because past participle can be either an adjective or part of a verb. The past participle is a form of the verb that appears with have or verb to be. It often ends in ed, but there is also many irregular past participles in English. Okay, now let's look at these two examples. The family has purchased a television. The poem was written by Paul. In the first sentence here, the past participle purchased is part of the verb. Why? Because it is accompanied by has. In the second example here, okay, the past participle written here is part of the verb. Why? Because it is accompanied by the verb to be was. Here, if we look at these sentences here, the television, okay, the television purchased yesterday was expensive. The poem written by Paul appeared in the magazine. If we look at this sentence, in the first sentence, okay, purchase here is an adjective rather than a verb. Why? Because it is accompanied by a form of the verb to be of be or have. Okay. because it is not accompanied by a form of be or have. And there is a verb here, which is was, later in the sentence. Here in the second sentence, written here is an adjective rather than a verb because it is not accompanied by a form of verb to be or verb to have. And there is a verb appeared here at the end of the sentence, which is appeared. Now, let's look at this example. The packages mailed at the post office will arrive Monday. Okay. Now, this example shows how past participle can be confused with the verb in the structure section of the TOEFL test. In this example, if we look only at the first few words of the sentence, it appears that packages here is the subject and mailed here is either a complete verb or past verb that needs a helping verb. But if we look further in the sentence, you will see that the verb is will. Okay? Will arrive. Here the verb is will arrive. You will then recognize that mailed here is participial adjective and is therefore not part of the verb. Then here I do not need a subject because packages is the subject, and I do not need a verb because will arrive is the verb. Then here and mailed here is an adjective. Then here I do not need neither a subject nor a verb. I need something nonsense. Something does not affect the grammar of the sentence. Let's look at these multiple choices. A and B here are incorrect. Why? Because mailed here is an adjective and does not need a helping verb such as have or were. Answer C here because there is no need for the object them. Answer D here is the correct answer for this question. Okay, then what is the rule for a past participle? Past participle often ends in ed, but there are also many irregular past participle for many verbs, including ed verbs. The simple past and the past participle are the same and can be easily confused. The ed form of the verb can be simple present, simple past, simple past tense, past participle of the verb, or an adjective. Here, the first sentence, she painted the picture. Here, ed form of the verb. Here, it is a past simple verb. She has painted this picture. Painted here is the past participle form of the verb because it is preceded by has, have, or had. But here, the picture painted by Kevin is now in a museum. Painted here is an adjective because the verb here is as here. Picture is the subject and is the verb. Now, let's look at exercise number 4 and try to answer the questions. Let me first answer the first two, discuss them with you, and then we'll complete the other sentences. The first sentence says, let's see if these sentences are correct or incorrect. The money was offered by the client was not accepted. The money here, let me draw, yeah. The money here is the subject, okay? And where is the verb? The verb is was not accepted. This is the verb. Was not accepted, this is the verb. What about was offered? This is incorrect. This is an adjective. This is an adjective. So I do not need. Was offered is a verb and wasn't accepted, this is another verb. I can't put two verbs in the simple sentence, sentence with one clause. So this should be, the verb to be here should be deleted, and offered should be considered as an adjective. So the sentence should be the money offered by the client was not accepted. And this is incorrect sentence. The second sentence, the car listed in the advertisement had already stalled. The car is the subject. Where's the verb? Had already stalled. This is the verb. Okay. And what about listed ed? This is an adjective. So this is a correct sentence. Now let's complete the other sentences and see if they are right or wrong. But I'm going to stop here recording my lesson. Thank you for listening.